equals safety for all. This campaign is brought to you by Morning Wave in Busan on BEFM. Oh, by the way, tune in to Morning Wave in Busan to get real-time traffic updates. You know your morning commute's better with me, Kat.
It's summertime, and with that comes the heat wave. Here's how to prepare for the unwelcome but unavoidable heat. First, tune into your TV or radio and listen for the latest weather forecasts. Try to stay indoors. Refrain from extreme activities, particularly the elderly or those with pre-existing health conditions. If you must go outside, walk slowly, find shade, wear light-colored, loose clothing. To avoid sunburn, protect your skin with sunscreen, wide-brimmed hats, or sun parasols. For those working outside, take frequent breaks and drink water, even if you don't feel thirsty. If you're inside, block UV rays and keep the temperature between 26 and 28 degrees Celsius. Get to know the signs of heat stroke. If you see anyone showing heat stroke symptoms, immediately call 119 or 1339, the Emergency Medical Information Center. We can't beat the summer sun, but let's do all we can to stay healthy this summer. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
지금 방송 광고라는 부메랑을 던져보세요. 소비자를 향해 정확히 날아가는 광고, 힘차게 돌아가는 경제, 부메랑처럼 다시 기업의 이익으로 되돌아오니까요. 방송 광고, 경제에 큰 힘이 됩니다. 부산 방송광고발전협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
These days, every morning, we tend to greet each other with the phrase. It's just pretty similar. It's so hot. That's what we say. That's our good morning these days. Another common point of discussion as of late is the rainy season over? Like, was that it? 벌써 장마 끝? 요새 이런 말 많이 하잖아요. Well, the Korea Meteorological Administration, the 기상청, says that it is too soon to declare the end of the monsoon season. Specifically, the monsoonal front is fluctuating between active and inactive states. So basically, it's not officially over. At this point, though, I think we could use a little bit of rain. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Thursday, July 3rd on BEFM, 부산 영어 방송. Good morning, Wavers. It is, I call it Thrilling Thursday because that takes us one day closer to our favorite day, Fantastic Friday. So I hope you're all doing well and surviving the heat. And even already, early this morning, I'm seeing a lot of, it's hot. It's definitely hot. Let it rain. Phrases like that. We are in the middle of this relentless heat wave. And as one of our experts said earlier this week, heat waves tend to be deadlier in early summer when neither our bodies nor our behavioral patterns have adjusted to the heat. And heat wave advisories and warnings have been issued over much of the country. Globally, Europe, as well as the United States, is under a heat dome or 열돔 with blazing temperatures and even wildfires breaking out of southern Europe. So, we are uncomfortable at what? The low 30s, like 31도, 2도 해도 너무 더워요 하는데 in Europe, they're battling mid-40s, 46도 그렇게 되잖아요, 지금. And as many experts warn, this may be the coolest summer compared to the heat waves to come in the future. And precisely because of this, experts at the World Health Organization, or WHO, have warned European nations need to take immediate action. This is deadly as the heat can lead to casualties, especially among children, the elderly, and people with pre-existing conditions. One expert at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine calculated that in just a span of 4 days, between late June and early July, there may have been in excess of 4,500 deaths. So that is very significant. That's a high number. While this sounds like a high number, another outlet reported that each year, at least 175,000 people across Europe may have died from the direct and indirect effects of heat. Extreme heat waves are also affecting Asia. Major cities in eastern China have been seeing temperatures in the mid to high 30s. Neighboring Japan also recorded the hottest ever June on record. So, these hot summers may have become a new normal. But again, the heat wave or heat waves can be silent killers. So we have to make sure to do our best to stay healthy and safe and, of course, hydrated. And once again, check on each other, please. Now, let's turn to our text topic. Are you ready? Of these four, which is your favorite taste? 자, sweet, savory, sour, or spicy. Of these, what is your favorite taste? 자, 단짠 신 매운맛 중 내가 가장 좋아하는 맛은? 오, 단짠 섞으면 안 돼요. No, you gotta choose just one. 두 개 안 된대요. No, just one, right? 단짠 is so good. But if you had to choose just one between the sweet, savory, sour, or spicy, which would you choose? You can send in your responses to BFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. So go to the YouTube platform, type in BEFM or Busan 영어 방송 to find our channel. Click on the logo to subscribe, and you can chat with our other waivers after you log in, of course. From your phone, pound 9050, shop 9050. That's going to cost you 100 won. You can also reach me for free through Kakao Talk. You can send in messages and photos as well. And the ways you can tune into our program, if you're tuning in, you probably already know, but you can spread the word. On the radio here in Busan, 90.5 or 103.3 FM. And like I said, we're streaming live right now on YouTube. You can watch again at your leisure. We have the BEFM app. We're also available on the Papang app. Both are free to download, easy to use. Looking at our Thursday ahead, we have Ask Dr. Ryu with Dr. Ryu Sang-hyo. We have Vasana with Buzz Breakdown. That's in hour number 2. And for our special interview, it is special indeed because he's coming into the studio. We're going to have a conversation with Consul Nolan Barkhouse. He is, of course, a friend of BFM, and he has something to say to you because, just in case you don't know, he is the consul for the U.S. consulate here in Busan. Well, what is his message? What is he going to say to us? Let's find out. That's coming up in hour number 2. I'll be back with news overview. It's now 7:06, and this is News Overview. Special Counsel summons ex-Prime Minister, Industry, and Science Ministers. The Special Counsel led by Cho Eun-suk summoned former Prime Minister Han Duck-soo, Industry Minister An Duck-kun, and Science Minister Yoo Sang-im yesterday in connection to the insurrection case involving last year's martial law declaration. Parliamentary parties agree on Commercial Act revision. The Democratic Party, or DP, and the People Power Party, or PPP, yesterday reached a compromise on the revisions of the Commercial Act, which seeks to expand the fiduciary duty of corporate board members to all shareholders. President Lee to hold press conference marking 1 month in office. President Lee Jae-myung will hold his first formal press conference today at 10 a.m. to mark his first month in office to answer questions about current affairs and the future direction of the administration's governance. South Korea and Poland confirm K2 tank exports. South Korea and Poland have agreed to export additional K2 tanks made by Hyundai Rotem Corporation in the first major arms contract signed by the new Lee Jae-myung administration. Iran suspends cooperation with IAEA. Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian signed a law suspending his country's cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, following Israeli and U.S. attacks on Iranian nuclear facilities last month in a move that the UN called obviously concerning. And this was News Overview. It's time for Now in Busan. We have Sejin in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I had an eventful morning.
What
today.
happened?
On my way to work, I had my glass broken, and I just put a tape on it.
How did your glasses break, may I ask?
I always carry my glasses on my hand, and I just, I drop it.
Oh no.
I was trying to catch the bus, and then
you dropped your glasses? Well, you got to work early. I saw you first thing in the morning. But the bad news is your glasses are broken. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, maybe something to lift your mood. We're going to talk about our text topic of the 4 tastes out there. So what did I say? I said sweet, savory, and then sour and spicy. Of those 4, which is your favorite?
I quite like savory taste, and I despise the sourness.
Oh, you don't just dislike, you despise the sour taste, really. Oh.
Like sour cream or...
Oh my gosh.
Do you like sour
I
cream?
love sour cream. Okay. Oh no. Okay, well, that's good to know because now I will take all the sour cream and you can take all the savory stuff.
Oh yeah.
Okay? Okay. We're going to jump into our first story. I hear something pretty futuristic is coming to Busan. We're talking about self-driving night buses.
Yes, starting this November, Busan will have self-driving bus night buses.
Yes. So really exciting. Where exactly are these buses going to be running?
They've set up a 10.4 kilometer BRT corridor from Naesung intersection in Dongdae straight to Ogi Junction near Haeundae district office. It's got dedicated bus lanes, so it's perfect for self-driving vehicles to travel safely and smoothly. Plus, it will connect with subway and the late-night bus route.
Yes, and so, the BRT lane, that makes a lot of sense. Is this going to be full-on autonomous driving?
These buses are not completely hands-off autonomous, but almost. They're using level 3 autonomous tech, so there will be a safety driver on board, ready to jump in for tricky part.
So it sounds pretty safe. How many passengers can ride these buses?
Up to 15 per trip, but everyone gets a seat. Standing isn't allowed for safety.
I see.
They will run 3 nights a week from 11 p.m. until 2 a.m. starting November, initially for a 2-month trial.
I see. Well, this sounds great for late-night commuters. Any plans to expand the routes or to other routes?
Yeah, in September, 4 self-driving buses will hit the roads around the Osiria Tourism Complex.
Okay.
And Mayor Park Hyung-jun has said they plan to expand the service to more areas and time slots if all goes well.
Yes, so hopefully we'll see how this goes first, and then maybe they'll expand it further. All right, next, I hear that Sasang District here in Busan is doing something quite meaningful for foreign workers. Can we hear about it?
Yes, Sasang District will be covering special health checkup course for foreign workers.
Okay.
It's all about keeping them safe and preventing accident on the job.
Special checkups. What exactly would this entail?
They are medical tests to spot any health issues that come from working in hazardous conditions.
I see.
The district teamed up with local hospitals to offer tailored checkup with up to 100,000 won covered per person.
So who qualifies for this?
It's for foreign workers who live in Sasang and work at small manufacturing companies in the area. And who need these health checkups due to their job. And this is actually the first time a local government in Korea offers this kind of support for them.
Right. So hopefully this will be the beginning and that it'll spread to other districts as well. And what do we need to know about what's going on in the city this week?
The government just picked 19 hospitals in the city for something called Comprehensive Secondary General Hospital Program.
Okay, so that sounds pretty lengthy. That's a mouthful. What exactly is this Comprehensive Secondary General Hospital Program?
Basically, it's meant to strengthen those mid-level hospitals, you know, the ones that sit between your local doctor and the big university hospitals.
Okay.
The idea is to make them more capable of handling wider range of treatment, so people don't always go straight to the big ones.
I see. So that could kind of be the backbone of the system if you think about it, right?
Exactly. And in Busan, 19 hospitals make the cut. In the east, you've got BHS Hansa Hospital, 좋은강안 and Haeundae Baek Hospital.
Okay.
Over in the west, there's Busan Veterans Hospital, 보훈병원, and 좋은삼성 Hospital, and more.
I see. Well, these hospitals all around the city, they're being recognized as these comprehensive secondary general hospitals. Any support coming their way?
Yes, this isn't just a title. They are putting in 2.1 trillion won over the next 3 years. That's meant to boost their ability to cover essential services in each region.
Yes. So it's a serious investment. Hopefully that will mean better care without having to travel too far.
That's the plan. More accessible, reliable healthcare, where people live.
Yes, indeed. All right, next, let's talk about culturally what's going on in Busan this week.
This news is about the IYF World Camp, which stands for the International Youth Fellowship. It's kicking off in Busan on the 6th of July.
Yes, so tell us more about this IYF World Camp.
It's run by the NGO. Every year, they bring together young people from all over the world for a week of cultural exchange, leadership training, and loads of fun events. About 20,000 participants are expected this year.
Yes.
That includes 3,500 students and youth from 105 countries, plus education ministers, university heads, you name it.
That sounds incredible. So what kind of stuff do they get up to during the week?
Very international. Concert, cultural performances, guest lectures, something they call mind lectures for self-awareness and leadership, and all sorts of hands-on academies.
So these events that you just mentioned coming up, are they related to like education or maybe global cooperation?
They are. On the 8th, they are holding the 11th IYF Education Forum, where global educators discuss teaching method and youth policy. Then on the 9th, at the APEC Nuri House in Busan, there's the 13th World Ministers Forum.
I see. Anything else that you want to add?
Yeah, the 2025 Leaders Mind Conference is a special event where university students tackle global issues and come up with the practical solutions. It's a sort of like the mini UN for young students.
Yes, it sounds very meaningful. And of course, we wish it much success. Let's move on to our next item. We always talk about like big events and policies, but it's the small local ideas that can really warm everyone's hearts, right?
Totally agree. And today I've got a great story from Bukgu about a second-hand baby goods market that's doing more than just helping folks declutter.
Oh, so first we need to focus on the baby goods market. What exactly is this?
It's called the Happy Kids Market. And here's how it works. People donate things like strollers, toys, clothes, and books. Basically anything for kids they don't need anymore. Then these items get resold at affordable prices, starting from just 1,000 won.
Okay.
And there's a price tag on each item, sure, but customers can actually pay whatever they want by dropping into a box.
Oh, I love the idea. So it's more about the spirit of sharing than the actual price on the price tag.
Exactly. And guess what? All the profits go to scholarship for local teenagers.
Oh, nice.
Just recently, the market handed out 500,000 won each to 26 students across Bukgu district.
Yes.
The whole idea started in 2023 from a local mom who works at a community center. She just wanted to do something useful with all the baby stuff her child outgrew.
Yeah, so it kind of grew from there, right?
Yeah, it's been so popular that they've now opened a second branch. People love the idea that it supports families, protects the environment, and helps teenagers all in one go.
I see. Well, I love these kind of like feel-good stories at the end. So thank you for sharing another one with our listeners, and we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Sajin.
Thank you.
All right, and I'll be back with your traffic and weather.
Good morning. Good morning.
굿모닝입니다.
Good morning.
좋은 아침입니다.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan. Major news
local buzz, and expert takes. It's all here on Morning Wave in Busan. Brighten up your morning commute with Morning Wave in Busan.
Morning Wave in Busan.
It is now 18 past the hour. Here's your traffic report. It looks backed up on Mandakdero already from Minam intersection to the Namhae Expressway Deokjeon ramp. It's congested on the Dongso overpass from Hwangyong ramp to the old Kaegum tollgate. And there's some backup on Luno-Samtongdero from the Myeongji underpass to Shinho Bridge. It's also looking slow on Nakdong-Namno from Gangso Police Station to Seongsan three-way intersection. Currently, it is, are you ready for this? It's already 28 degrees Celsius with a heat wave special report, 폭염특보, and a heat wave impact report, 폭염 영향예보, over the city. The daytime high is expected to go up to 33 degrees Celsius, 35 for some inland areas. Under sunny skies here in Busan. Across the nation, most of the country is under a heat wave special report with daytime highs expected to go up to 37 degrees in some areas. Thick fog on coastal areas by bodies of water, obviously, so please drive safely. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for Top Stories. We have Haley in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so since we have to choose,
I know, I made you
taste,
choose.
Sweet, savory, sour, or spicy, which one do you choose?
I mean, always sweet. I have a major sweet tooth. I think all the teeth are sweet in my mouth, but sour, tart.
Sour.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, I do. But doesn't your mouth water just hearing like tart?
I love anything tart, sour.
Right?
I love it, yeah.
You know what I
Sweet,
miss
savory,
from the
they're-
States though?
What?
The sour children. Patch children.
I was like, what are you?
The Sour Patch children.
Yes, the children.
Yeah, the children. The
kitties.
The kid jellies,
Yeah.
yeah. Because the citric acid, it's not as strong in Korea.
I
Like,
agree.
I want my mouth to feel like it's going to have a hole in it.
You want to pucker.
Exactly.
Because it's so sour, right?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Anywho.
배고파요.
I know.
피디님,
I
뭐
know.
사주세요. Okay, just kidding. All right, we're going to get into our first story. It's already that time to settle on next year's minimum wage. And as it is with every year, we talk about this year in, year out, there is this tug of war going on.
And as it is with every year, we are beyond the deadline. But discussions are going on. So
Yes.
the labor and management representatives in the government's minimum wage panel, they've gone through 8 rounds of negotiations already in that minimum wage panel.
Yes.
So they have yet to, however, narrow down the difference to even under a 1,000 won, the 천원 range. So this minimum wage panel, it's comprised of 27 members, 9 each representatives from labor, management, and government-appointed mediators.
Okay.
So as of the 8th minimum wage panel meeting, the labor side has proposed 11,260 won per hour, 11,260원. The management side has presented their side as 10,110 won, 1,110원 per hour. So right now we're looking at a 1,151 difference. The gap has narrowed somewhat from the initial gap of 1,471.
Yes.
Initially, the labor side actually demanded 11,500 won, and the management presented freezing the minimum wage. The labor side called for a big raise in the minimum wage to make sure that workers can, quote, live like humans. The head of the labor side, Ryu Gi-seop, who's the head of the Federation of Korean Trade Unions, said the rate of increase for the first year of the former Yoon Suk-yeol administration was 5%, and therefore there is a lot of attention over that symbolic raise in the first year of the Lee Lee administration.
Yes. So let's hear from the management side.
Right. So the management side called for the panel to not only consider the laborers, but also the difficulties faced by small businesses. So Ryu Ki-jung, who heads the Korea Enterprise Federation, said that the minimum wage affects not only workers, but also the entirety of the socio-economic system, and it should be considered very carefully. But we might actually hear the final figure as early as tonight to early tomorrow morning because the 9th session is scheduled. And here, the government-appointed members, the mediators, 공익위원, will receive the 5th proposals from both sides and propose their mediated amount. We'll see if they actually come to an agreement. But to give you a little more detail, the deadline was June 29th. Last year, by the way, again, they go past this almost every year.
Yes.
Last year, the minimum wage was decided on July 12th, but they do have to decide by the middle of the month because it does need to go up to the Labor Ministry, and the Labor Minister by law needs to confirm and announce next year's minimum wage by August 5th.
Yes. So of course, when we get details of whatever figure it is, we'll let everybody know. For now, we're going to move on and talk about the population for the next couple of stories. We have a new projection on the future population of the country, and I was a little shocked.
And I am the bearer of bad news here. So it's another bleak picture. At this current rate of the population decline, the country's population may be at 15% of the current figure in 100 years. By the way, because I had to do a double take, it's not a 15% decrease, it is 15% of what we have right now.
Right.
That's a fraction of the current population. And this is according to the Korea Peninsula Population Institute for Future, which is a major think tank for the country. So in the year 2100, what do you call 2100? 2100?
It's so odd. It's on the paper, and I'm like
2100. I guess, right?
Yes.
Right. So anyways, because why is that important? Because we're talking about kind of social security system, the pensions. So in the year 2100, 100 people in the productive age range, so the working population, 생산연령 19, may be supporting 140 seniors. So that will be grossly outweighed.
Yes.
So according to their calculation, in the worst case scenario, that puts the population projection in the year 2125, 2125년, at 7.53 million people. The current population is 51.6 million people.
Yes.
So this figure is, by the way, 7.53 million, significantly smaller than even the population of Seoul.
Yes.
The optimistic scenario puts the population in 100 years at 15.7 million, which is still under a third of the current population.
Yes.
So with this decline comes rapid aging. Currently, 100 people in the working age group support 30 seniors. But again, we're looking at that figure escalating to 140 seniors.
Wow. So some shocking figures. The report also analyzed how younger people, what they thought about marriage and babies.
This is important because how they behave now will determine the population in the future.
Right.
So this is based on some 60,000 posts from that professional's website Blind for people who are in their 20s to their 40s. So they analyzed the posts about marriage and weddings.
Yes.
Interestingly, there were more mentions of money or housing than love. So, right. So in terms of childbirth or family planning, also a big mention of economic burden, that financial burden.
Yes.
So the report, therefore, drew this conclusion that for the younger generation, marriage and family planning, they're really no longer up to personal choices, but it is a realistic choice based on your economic situation.
So pretty dire, but stuff that we still need to know. And moving on, we often hear that Korea is a homogeneous country in terms of its ethnic makeup, but this is no longer true because the country's diversity is actually on the rise.
Right, so we're going to be talking about population diversity, 인구다양성, and South Korea is actually becoming more diverse in terms of the ethnic makeup, religion, and culture.
Yes.
And this is based on the Korea Institute for Health and Social Affairs report on regional demographical diversity.
Yes.
So here they're looking at the diversity index, 인구다양성 지수, and that figure went up from 0.0527 back in 2018 to 0.0568 last year, which are so many points and zeros. That may not sound like much, all right, but it's an 8% increase. That's better, right?
Yes,
That's
yes.
easier to comprehend.
Okay.
So this is called the Blau Index, and it ranges from completely homogeneous, 완전 동질, so that's at 0, to completely heterogeneous, 완전 이질, at 1. So we are closer to 0 than 1, but it is a big change for Korean society.
Yes.
And this, by the way, it is used globally to measure how diverse a population is.
But, 하지만 also differs widely by region.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
The most diverse city in South Korea during this period, Incheon, which saw almost a 22% increase in their diversity index compared to 8% nationwide.
Okay.
And then other cities that also saw double-digit increases, 대전, 전남, 전북, 강원, and Daegu. Busan, by the way, 3.7% increase, which is way below the national average. Seoul actually went down. So they actually saw negative. So they actually saw drops in their diversity along with Sejong. So yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if real estate or jobs have anything to do with it.
Yes.
However, when we break it down to the smaller neighborhood or borough 읍면동 levels, the top 5 areas with the highest increase in diversity, they're all in Gyeonggi province. And I know some of our listeners are from Gyeonggi.
Yes.
So Ansan, 단원구, 원곡동 taking the top 3.
I see.
Or the top place, rather. In particular, we are seeing huge diversity increases for babies and toddlers, 6 or younger. And this is attributed to the low birth rate generally.
Yes.
It's really the only area where we're seeing increasing birth rate is with immigrants and with, of course, immigration policy. There was a 45% increase in the child diversity index. So researchers say that this shows how immigration through marriage visas and also work visas, they've been concentrated in the rural, agricultural, and industrial regions.
Very interesting to hear about our country, what it might look like in the future, and of course a snapshot of right now. And now for today's international story, we're going to go to Thailand, where the Prime Minister has been suspended over a phone call?
Must have been a phone call,
yeah.
right? So this is Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra. She's been at the center of attention ever since she launched her campaign, or maybe even before. All right, why? At the age of 38, she was suspended, the country's youngest leader.
Yes.
Only the second woman to hold that office, and she comes from a political dynasty, including her father, Thaksin Shinawatra, who was the former prime minister, and also her aunt, who was the first female prime minister of the country.
Right.
However, the Thai Constitutional Court is currently ruling on a petition from the lawmakers to dismiss her. And in the meantime, justices voted to suspend her from office in a 7-2 decision.
Yes, but let's go back to that phone call that started this.
Because it was one call that's launched many protests. That call was with the Prime Minister of neighboring Cambodia, Prime Minister Hun Sen. So a little bit of backdrop. They share a border, and it's always been kind of contentious. They've had a dispute on their shared border with live fire exchanged, and tensions have been high. In late May, a Cambodian soldier was killed during that live fire. But during a call between the two prime ministers, Prime Minister Shinawatra called Hun Sen uncle. By the way, he and her father are very close. They're considered almost like god brothers.
Okay.
But the call's audio was leaked, and then later the entirety was released by Hun Sen's office, which would have been fine to call him uncle because you can argue all their family friends. But then here's the kicker.
Okay.
She criticized her own military commander, saying that the commander, quote, just wanted to look cool and said things that were not useful. Yeah. Hence the public outrage and protests had been going on because the public saw this as a call as her trying to appease a family friend and undermine her country's own military. She apologized. She said it was just a part of a negotiation tactic. But then she said that this was more than 100% for the country, but she has been suspended nonetheless.
Okay, so that was a doozy of a phone call. But thank you for going over all of the top stories. And of course, we'll check in with you in hour number 2. So thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
All right. How about this one? And PD님 is just teasing me with all the food stuff, but 팥빙수 by Yoon Jong-shin.
세상은 은근한 불 서서히 졸인다 졸인다 빙수용 위생얼음 냉동실 안에 꽁꽁 단단히 얼린다 얼린다 푸르츠 칵테일에 국물은 따라내고 과일만 건진다 건진다 체리는 꼭지 체리 체리는 꼭지 체리 깨끗이 씻는다 씻는다 팥빙수 팥빙수 난 좋아 열나 좋아야 팥빙수 팥빙수 여름엔 왔다야 빙수기 얼음 넣고 밑에는 예쁜 그릇 얼음이 갈린다 갈린다 얼음에 파 던지고 푸르츠 칵테일에 체리로 장식해 장식해 팥빙수 팥빙수 난 좋아 열나 좋아야 팥빙수 팥빙수 여름엔 이게 왔다야 주의사항 팥 졸일 때 설탕은 충분히 찰떡 젤리 크림 연유 빠지면 섭섭해 빙수기 얼음 넣고 밑에는 예쁜 그릇 얼음이 갈린다 갈린다 얼음에 파 던지고 푸르츠 칵테일에 체리로 장식해 장식해 팥빙수 팥빙수 난 좋아 열나 좋아야 팥빙수 팥빙수 여름엔 이게 왔다야 빙수야 팥빙수야 사랑해 사랑해 빙수야 팥빙수야 녹지마 녹지마 야 빙수야 팥빙수야 사랑해 사랑해 빙수야 팥빙수야 녹지마 녹지마 빙수야 팥빙수야 사랑해 사랑해 빙수야 팥빙수야 녹지마 녹지마 야 빙수야 팥빙수야 사랑해 사랑해 빙수야 팥빙수야 녹지마 녹지마 빙수야 팥빙수야 사랑해 사랑해 빙수야 팥빙수야 녹지마 녹지마 빙수야 팥빙수야 사랑해 사랑해
Yes. Who wants pingsu now? And what's your favorite pingsu? That's a side question. Now that our producer has gotten us thinking about pingsu, I think I'm going to have it for dessert later on today. But for our main text topic, we're talking about the 4 tastes. Which do you prefer? So we talked about the sweet, savory, sour, and spicy. But we have Leslie says, I'm going to go with option number 5. And I thought, what option number 5? She says, bitter. 쓴맛, like coffee, dark chocolate, several fruits and veggies that I like. Ooh, yes. So I definitely like bitter, like, and you know, when you have a salad, like I was, eating a salad yesterday, and then I really love the bitter taste of certain greens, especially the ones that have like purple and red in them. The bitterness, so good. So yeah, I do feel you. Leslie Young on our KakaoTalk board saying, good morning. 단점도 좋지만 한국 Kfood 때문에 생겨났다고 하는 감칠맛. 잘 익은 김치나 뜨끈한 된장국 먹을 때 저절로 나오는 말이잖아요. 그런데 감칠맛을 영어로 뭐라고 하는 게 좋을지 모르겠대요. So, 감칠맛. I'm going to think about that. What is a great way to talk about or say 감칠맛? So give me a few seconds because I got to read a few more of your messages for now. And people were asking me, what is my choice of the four? Of the four, I would go with spicy. However, there was an instance where 그 엄청 매운 짬뽕 한번 먹다가 다쳤어요. 속이 놀래서. Ever since then, my tolerance for spicy food has gone down significantly. So I try not to eat like overly spicy food because I just felt it one day and I was like, I can't do it anymore. But in my home, I always have, I can't say the medicine name, but that gel type, 그 겔 타입 아시죠? 혹시 매운 거 드실 때. And then after, just in case, I have that, like an antacid at home. Well, we're going to get into our segment with Dr. Liu. He's in the studio. I'll be back with him in just a moment. It's time for Ask Dr. Liu, and guess who's here? Dr. Liu, how are you?
Good morning.
Yes.
It feels like years since I've been here. I don't know why. Anyhow.
Because you miss us every day, right, Dr. Liu?
That's right. I miss everybody in this studio and also all those waivers out there.
Oh, yay. So sweet. 너무 달달하네요, 아침에. Well, I need to ask you about, of the four tastes, which do you prefer? Sweet, savory, sour, or spicy? And no, you cannot make up your own category. Okay. So.
Okay.
자꾸 막 새로운 거를. 네.
Okay, my taste changes over time.
Okay.
When I was young, I really liked spicy food, but my body doesn't take it anymore. So I'm really like savory stuff.
Savory.
Yeah. Salty, sweet, and those kind of thing, really, really good taste. But after that, it's spicy also. My body goes into some kind of a trouble. So, yes, well, I cannot define my age other than my thoughts, my thinking, but still young at heart.
Of course, we both are. Well, let's dive into our segment for today. What are we talking about?
Okay, our monsoon season has left us with the intense heat and humidity.
Yes.
Which is a perfect storm for heat-related illnesses.
That's true.
Yeah, so I'm going to cover heat-related illnesses. Two stuff. One is heat exhaustion, and the second thing is heat stroke.
Ooh, how do we say heat exhaustion in Korean?
Okay, heat exhaustion. Exhaustion means 정말 탈진하다, 지치다.
지치다, right?
In Korean, 열탈진.
열탈진,
And
okay.
heat stroke is 열사병. It's a medical emergency.
Yes, yeah. So it's really important to distinguish because as our 예지 PD님 said, 두 개 달라요? Kind of saying similar.
Totally different.
Oh, okay. So we're going to get into it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
First of all, heat exhaustion. You might have experienced this kind of symptoms. After you get yourself exposed to a lot of sunlight and a lot of scorching hot weather, you might feel a little bit dizzy.
Is it kind of like in Korea we say like 더위 먹다? Like
That's right.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, at the reaction. No, because I was thinking that sounds like it, like. And then I remember when I was little, and then I didn't like my Korean was so bad. And then I wouldn't understand when my mom said, because in California it can go to over 40. It's like desert. Like 더위 먹다. I was like, how do you eat the heat, Mom? I was like so like sassy and like. And she's like, it's just a phrase. Right.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Heat exhaustion.
Yeah, totally correct expression.
Okay.
더위 먹자. After, you're exposed to a lot of heat and then you might feel sweating a lot and also you might feel dizzy and also feeling nauseated and feeling weak. Yeah, that's what I experienced yesterday when I went home, when I was on my way home after
Really?
work. Yes.
Oh.
But if that's left untreated, it can turn into heat stroke.
So heat exhaustion is serious, but heat stroke is like really serious.
That's right.
Okay.
Our autonomic nervous system totally compromised.
Got it.
So no sweating, you might experience confusion, and you might experience even seizure and heart attack.
That is really serious.
Yes.
I mean, everything you've said so far is serious, but that's like, ooh, got our attention. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So that's a very, very dangerous situation if you experience heat stroke. So if memory serves me correctly, several years back in a military service, some soldiers died of this heat stroke after very harsh training. Anyhow, there are some dangerous myths. Toughing it out can lead to serious harm, like organ damage. So in 2024 study done in South Korea, it shows that heat waves, especially like cities in Busan, it can lead to a spike in emergency room visits for heat-related illnesses. I remember that when I was working in the ER, so I saw patients experience seizures because I'm a neurologist. I get to see seizure patients.
Dr. Ryu, 오늘 왜 이렇게 말씀이 빠르세요?
Okay. So,
you went to Canada, you came back, and you're like, 영어가 너무 잘 되시는데요.
I don't know.
조금만 천천히
Okay,
해주세요.
that's right. Okay.
Yes.
그래서요, I saw many emergency patients, especially presenting with seizures as a neurologist.
Okay.
That's why, and also particularly among elderly patients, and also people with disabilities who are ignoring their symptoms is a risky move. So if you feel dizzy,
what do we need to do? Yes.
Oh well, there's not much we can do in that situation except.
There's nothing we can do?
Except carrying them to a shaded area.
Shaded area.
And then if there's a nearby center that's equipped with AC, and then hydration is key.
Yeah, we need cooling, some sort of, AC, and hydration, meaning water, right?
That's right. Hydration means water.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm thinking, because you already mentioned vulnerable people, including people who might be elderly, people who might not have access to these cooling methods like an AC, right? But what about for people, I see people working outdoors, and I literally like I'm in the car with my AC on and I'm still thinking, oh God, it's so hot today. And then I see some workers outside. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's really harsh.
맞아요. Same here. When I was on my way home yesterday, I saw several outdoor workers.
Right.
They're wearing all long sleeves and covering their
They want to protect their
face.
skin.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, but anyhow, thankfully, I saw the water bottle just right around their wrist.
Okay, good.
And it's a waist, so that's why I feel a little bit comforted. Anyhow, we talked about elderly citizens.
Yes.
Let me give you some kind of some some trivial information. In Korea, we have a public bathhouse.
Yes.
And who's in it? There are hottest bathtub, 열탕, and some mediocre temperature-wise bathtub. Who's in the hot stuff? Who's in it? The hottest bathtub? Usually, elderly or children.
Elderly. No.
Elderly. That's right. Not because they are tolerable. They are enduring the heat. Because their peripheral nervous system is compromised. They couldn't feel any heat. They couldn't take this heat as a painful kind of a heat sensation.
So maybe their senses are a little bit dull.
That's right.
So that's why they can kind of stay in the 열탕 for so long.
That's right. So they are prone to experience kind of heat-related exhaustion, heat stroke, because they couldn't control their body temperature.
So
that's why they are vulnerable. And also people with chronic conditions like heart disease and diabetes.
Oh, wow. So it's not necessarily a good thing, especially if you have 어르신 in your family, let them know. Maybe don't stay in the 열탕 for too long.
That's right.
Yes.
정말 알아주면 좋은 상식인 것 같아요.
네.
And also low-income groups, those without access to air conditioning,
Yes.
also hit hard, especially in urban areas where the heat dome effects or heat island effects
Yes.
makes things harder.
And I'm thinking, of course, in Seoul, but we're here in Busan, and in Busan we have so many buildings as well, tall buildings. So it's like a concrete jungle, and that does not help the situation.
No,
Yes.
unfortunately.
Yes. And so, can we go and talk about some of the myths that are floating out there? Because we want to bust those myths, right? And maybe you can give us some prevention tips as well. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and the first myth is if you are sweating, you're fine.
I've heard this.
Yes, it's true or not?
I don't know. 땀 흘리면 뭐 괜찮지 않냐? 저도 그런 거 들었어요.
No, it's another myth. Sweating is a sign your body is trying to cool down. But in heat stroke, I told you earlier,
Yes.
you might actually stop sweating. In that case, it's a very ominous sign.
Okay.
And then if you're sweating buckets and feeling faint and confused, that's a red flag. And another myth I want to cover is only elderly get heat issues. It's wrong.
Okay.
Even young, healthy folks can get hit hard.
Sure.
And don't believe that drinking water alone prevents everything.
So what should we be drinking?
We need electrolytes.
Without giving the brand names.
That's
but
right.
like the
Something
like
sweaty.
Gator thing and the power things out there.
That's right.
이온 음료.
That's
yes.
right.
And it's sometimes like doctor. When my kids were younger, when they were dehydrated, they had something like a stomach bug. They would always say, "Oh, get the Pedia thing." The you know which one, right? Because it has electrolytes.
That's right. Electrolytes 전해질 in Korean, like referring to potassium or
Yes.
sodium. 이런 거죠. 나트륨 같은 거. Like in sports drinks. They might replace what you're losing through sweating.
Yeah. So we also want to give really good tips that everyone can follow for our listeners out there. What are some tips? I know we kind of know them, but we need to be reminded right now.
Okay, stay hydrated. Yeah, I cannot emphasize more on this one. And you gotta cool yourself, like seeking air-conditioned places like cafe. Some other centers are equipped with AC. And also, I want to mention this one. There are a lot of beautiful commercials endorsing beer kind of drink beer in hot, humid weather.
Yeah.
It's a big no-no because it's make you really dehydrated.
It's going to dry you out more.
Yeah, and also it can ruin your brain as well. So I would recommend also time limitation. Avoid outdoor activities from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yes.
And also, you gotta know the sign. If you feel dizzy, nauseated, or feeling headaches, don't hesitate to visit ER. And also, you gotta please watch on your neighborhoods, and especially elderly people. You gotta see them on a regular basis in these days. Hot, humid weather hits Korea really hard.
Indeed.
And also, it's go to basics. Stay hydrated, come in contact with other people who are vulnerable to heat-related illnesses.
Yes.
And also, cool yourself down.
But the thing is this, it is hot, but then we have the mixture of the humidity. 습도 때문에 it's like unbearable sometimes.
That's right. That's why here in Korea the temperature is 30 something, but in European countries over 40.
Yes.
Some European countries when the humidity is really low, they might not experience as humid as we are. So in that case, this sweating. Our sweat easily gets evaporated.
Yes. So definitely, I mean, if we had to wrap up, any final words that you want to leave our listeners with, because once again, I know we know, but we still need to get the word out because we want to remind everybody out there. So any last words?
Okay, don't fall for myths like sweating means you are okay, or just let's see, tough it out. It's no. Stay smart and stay safe.
Yes, yes. Well, I think that was so short, succinct. Stay safe by keeping hydrated, and the whole 땀 나니까 괜찮아? No, that's not true. So make sure you cool down properly. But thank you so much for coming in and taking care of our listeners, because everybody, the first thing these days, everybody says, oh, it's so hot.
Yeah.
People, that's like our 인사말 to each other. Oh,
Yeah,
너무
that's
덥다.
right. I need to
너무
cool down
더워.
a little bit.
Yes, yes. Well, we look forward to next week with you as well. So thank you so much, Dr. Ryu.
My pleasure.
All right, everybody. This was Ask Dr. Ryu. And looking at some of your responses, the 음료, the drinks out there. I know lots of people love their iced drinks, which is great. But like if you have too much of like the caffeinated drinks, like the iced coffee, not so great. So if you can switch out at least one coffee for water or some sort of drink with electrolytes, that would be great too. So I know you have many options out there. I'm not pushing any brands or anything like that. I just want you to be safe, as just like my family. You guys are my family at this point. Well, we're going to call it a wrap for hour number 1. And I know we got several song requests today, but we're going to go with this one, a song request from 최윤정 Waver. She wants to hear Holiday by Sistar or Shista. So here it is. Enjoy, and I'll be back at 8.
If I'm ready, I'ma go. So throw your hands up. I'm on my holiday, babe. I come and get ya. Double kick music, and now it's sister. Now let them do their thing. Let's go.
기분 좋은 good morning 기다리던 D-Day 널 입을까 coming 귀찮아 난 holic I'm shopaholic 내 맘에 안 들어라 내 머리 어깨 무릎까지 완벽하게 또 액세서리 메이크업도 화려하게 So just call me 이 밤이 Let's celebrate tonight So special holiday My holiday 손꼽아 기다려줘요 Let's do some far away Holiday My holiday So This is my special holiday 조금 짙어진 립스틱 좀 묘하게 립스틱 아무도 날 몰라볼 만큼 섹시하게 또 팬시하게 이 밤을 불태워다 알면 재미없어 Pop it like you work it, drop it, pop it like it Pop it like you work it, drop it, pop it like it 삐삐삐 소리에 난 킥킥킥 리듬에 다 잊고 춤을 출래 So special holiday My holiday 손꼽아 기다려줘요 Let's do some far away Holiday My holiday So This is my special holiday Rock the party rock, rock the party rock Rock it baby, welcome to party rock It's double kick, this is how we party rock Rock it baby, rock, rock your party rock Rock, rock your party rock, rock, rock your party rock Rock, rock it baby, welcome to party rock It's double kick, this is how we party rock Rock, rock it baby, rock, rock your party rock So special holiday My holiday 손꼽아 기다려줘요 Let's do some far away
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
쉽지 않은 오늘이지만 가게 문을 열고 새로운 길을 찾고 더 나은 내일을 준비하는 사람들이 있습니다. 청년, 소상공인, 중소기업. 이 도시를 움직이는 지역 경제의 주체입니다. 작은 아이디어 하나가 골목을 바꾸고 햇살 아래 땀방울이 지역 경제를 다시 일으킵니다. 청년, 소상공인, 중소기업. 경제의 중심은 바로 당신입니다. 이 캠페인은 부산 경제의 미래를 준비하는 종합 지원 플랫폼 부산경제진흥원이 함께합니다.
During the summer monsoon season, Korea is often met with heavy rainfalls. Various accidents, including landslides and building collapses due to weak grounds, may occur during this time. So here are some tips that could keep you safe from long and wet monsoon season in Korea. First, regularly check and maintain water and drainage channels. Second, fix objects that could be blown away by severe wind, such as boards, TV networks, and others. Third, residents who live near areas prone to landslides, flooding, and sinkholes should be aware of the location of a nearby shelter as directed by authorities. And lastly, be aware of getting electric shocks. Always take preventive measures when using electric appliances to protect against electric shocks. Above all, staying informed of what to do is the most important. Tune in to BEFM Busan 영어방송 for emergency broadcast. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM Busan 영어방송.
Want to be a friend of BFM Busan 영어 방송? You can chat with BFM through our Kakao Talk service. You can share your messages and photos through Kakao Talk, and you can easily become BFM's Kakao friend by searching BFM through the Find a Friend option. Come share and chat with us at BFM anytime, anywhere for free. Don't forget to add BFM Busan 영어 방송 to your Kakao friends list.
Man, I haven't got a chance. I call
The time is now 8 o'clock.
It's now 8 o'clock. This is Morning Wave in Busan. Hour number 2, we're going to begin with Spotlight News. Special Council summons ex-Prime Minister and Industry and Science Ministers. The Special Council, led by Cho Won-seok, summoned former Prime Minister Han Duck-soo, Industry Minister An Duck-gun, and Science Minister Yoo Sang-im yesterday in connection to the insurrection case involving last year's martial law declaration. The prosecution reportedly questioned them about the cabinet meetings before and after former President Yoon Suk-yeol's martial law declaration. Former Minister Han is facing accusations he abetted and participated in allegedly redrafting the martial law decree retroactively in an attempt to justify the former president's actions. In the meantime, Yoon's attorney said that the former president will comply with the prosecution's summons scheduled for this Saturday at 9 a.m. Parliamentary parties agree on Commercial Act revision. The Democratic Party, or DP, and the People Power Party, or PPP, yesterday reached a compromise to the revisions to the Commercial Act, which seeks to expand the fiduciary duty of corporate board members to all shareholders. The parties agreed to the so-called 3% rule to limit the top shareholders' voting rights to 3% when appointing auditors to the corporation. The DP and the PPP also agreed to hold a public hearing to address other contentious matters, including a provision on the cumulative voting system. President Lee to hold a press conference marking 1 month in office. President Lee Jae-myung will hold his first formal press conference today at 10 a.m. to mark his first month in office, to answer questions about current affairs and the future direction of the administration's governance. The 30-day press conference is significantly earlier than the norm, with his predecessors having held such events to mark their respective 100th day in office. The president wrote on social media that the event is planned to look back on the last 30 years and to reaffirm his determination for the next 4 years and 11 months. The press conference will be held in a town hall style with no predetermined questions, according to the presidential office, covering livelihood and the economy, politics, diplomacy, and social issues. South Korea and Poland confirm K2 tank exports. South Korea and Poland have agreed to export additional K2 tanks made by Hyundai Rotem Corporation in the first major arms contract signed by the new Lee Jae-myung administration. The Defense Arms Procurement Agency, or DAPA, said that the two sides have completed talks and will hold an official signing ceremony to be attended by high-level officials from both countries. The deal is estimated at over $6 billion, involving 180 K2 tanks, and would be South Korea's biggest single arms export contract yet. Iran suspends cooperation with IAEA. Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian signed a law suspending his country's cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, following Israeli and U.S. attacks on Iranian nuclear facilities last month, in a move that the UN called obviously concerning. The Iranian parliament last month passed a bill to suspend cooperation with the IAEA, which includes prohibiting IAEA inspectors from visiting sites or nuclear sites without Iran's Supreme National Security Council. Following the move, Israel called on European nations to reinstate all UN sanctions on Iran, and the U.S. State Department called the suspension unacceptable. And this was Spotlight News. It's time for Waglwagle. That means Haley's back. Welcome back.
Good morning again.
Yes, yes. You know, we talk about this all the time. Aside from it's so hot, we say the price of everything is going up.
Everything's expensive.
Yes, but people are finding creative ways to afford certain things without breaking the bank.
Right. Go splitsies.
Oh.
Right. You split paying for a certain service, certain things, even with strangers.
Really?
Right. I mean, social media platforms. So this is called 소분 모임. So what could you go splitsies on? Range from things like the large warehouse market, that big brand. Because, I mean, you pull out a box of cereal and it just keeps coming out.
It's
the
just
boxes and boxes.
A lot.
You buy in bulk and then you divide it amongst the members of your group. And then also OTT or streaming platforms, the membership, even flowers. Interesting, right?
Okay.
So 당근 Market, the primary secondhand platform, reported a 411% increase in the number of these new splitting 소분 모임 groups in the first half of this year compared to the same period last year.
Okay.
So for example, in Sejong City's Cost Deng split group, it has over 800 members. So what people do, you look for people to chip in together to buy bulk items, things like detergent, toilet paper, etc. you meet up and split it.
Yes.
And by the way, you could also argue, well, toilet paper doesn't have expiration dates.
Right.
Why would you? Well, if you are a single person household, you live in a studio apartment, where are you going to put it?
Storage.
Exactly. So realistic practical issues. So an official from the second-hand platform said that in this economy, people are looking for reasonable spending and high cost efficiency.
I see. Well, we can definitely understand why. And, as I said, I'll say it again, prices continue to go up.
I have numbers to back that up. So overall, consumer prices, they've increased by 2%, a little over 2%. So we're in that range again.
Sure.
This is according to Statistics Korea yesterday, which released the figures for June CPI, the Consumer Price Index, which came to 116.31 last month. That's up by 2.2%.
Yes.
But when we're looking at, that's average. We have to look at what really went up. Processed foods, 가공식품, and also seafood on the rise. But then processed foods, they as a group added 0.39% to the overall prices because they themselves increased by 4.6%. That's double the average CPI. Especially big jumps in things like bread, coffee, and processed meat. That is
like ham.
Ham,
and
sausages.
Right? Yes.
Ramen also went up by 6.9%. When we're looking at things like sauces, tea, and chocolate, I mean, speaking of sweet and spicy and savory, all of that all went up by over 20%. Actually, according to Statistics Korea, of the 73 processed food items that they keep track of, 62 saw price increases. And then, of course, seafood during this time of year, we do tend to see increases because it is very much affected by the climate.
Yes.
And the climate, the weather is, well, what it is.
Yes, indeed. So, once again, we have the numbers to back up our theory. Everything is so expensive. It's true. Well, up next, this webtoon is under works to get a web drama adaptation, but many people are against it, and we want to know what it is and why.
This might be triggering for some people, so I do want to warn you. It's school romance between a teacher and a possible romance and an elementary school student.
No.
Yeah, no.
No, on so many different levels.
It's real.
Okay.
It's real.
Okay.
So this show, the webtoon, has been signed on to be dramatized as a web drama. They're both called 내가 사랑하는 초등학생, on direct translation, an elementary school student whom I love. I'm going to try to get through this story with with a straight face. So the protagonist is an elementary school teacher. She breaks up with her boyfriend, presumably adult. She meets this player via an online game. But this player helps her break into different levels, helps her do really well. Turns out he's 12 years old, and so he's in the 5th grade.
Sure.
So this is a 4-pay webtoon on Naver. And the official who's in charge of this particular comic at Naver Comics said it's actually about a platonic relationship between two people. So it's not necessarily romance, it's platonic love. But even when it was in the process of the 연재 being written and published, it was under controversy for going against social norms. Some people might have, say, pedophilic undertones.
Oh, yes. And like the title of it.
Yeah.
Why is the word 사랑 in there?
Right.
I'm just saying.
We just want to stay away from that as much as possible.
And the Korean Federation of Teachers Associations issued an official statement against the show that is under development.
Right. So they released an official statement yesterday urging the development for a web drama adaptation to be withdrawn. So they stated that one may never justify sexually objectifying a child, even under a pretense of creativity or artistic expression. They said the teachers must have a higher level of morality, ethics, and expertise than other jobs because a part of their job is to form this relationship of trust with students who are minors.
Yes.
So taking advantage of such a relationship to share private feelings with an underage student and then also developing that into a romantic relationship, no matter how platonic, is a, quote, inexcusable glorification of grooming.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Hence the controversy.
Right.
And why we're talking about here. We're going to move on from that story to this one. It's kind of an old story, new chapter. The Trump versus Musk feud is back, and a lot more may be at stake.
Right. So it's the same disagreement that we've covered, but it's over that spending bill, the quote-unquote big, beautiful bill,
Yes.
but with new threats from the U.S. president. So Elon Musk, of course, Tesla and SpaceX CEO, he again criticized Donald Trump's spending bill, saying that it goes against what he has worked for with the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, their whole point to cut government spending. So this comes as the bill very narrowly passed the Senate, with J.D. Vance having to cast a tiebreaker. So the bill includes why increase spending for border security, defense, and energy production. And this is the reason it would be partially offset by controversial cuts to healthcare and food support programs.
Yes, yes. And again, Trump did not take the criticism too well.
Right. So this response came on multiple levels. So first, there was some talk about policy. So U.S. President Donald Trump first accused Elon Musk of being against the bill because he says it would cut incentives to buying EVs. Of course, Musk being Tesla CEO, that would hurt his company's profits.
Okay.
And then he also threatened to remove government subsidies for Musk's companies. Then it went further to, quote, set Doge on Musk.
Oh.
Basically, Trump said, quote, Doge is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Yes. Well, Musk also hit back, basically using his vast resources, because he has been one of the biggest campaign contributors in the United States. And he stated that lawmakers who campaigned for reducing government spending and then voted on the bill to increase spending should lose their races. And he's also previously mentioned the possibility of launching his own party that would go against both Republicans and Democrats. And then this came in the most personal attack of all. Trump told reporters that he would look into having Elon Musk deported back to South Africa. So that's the latest chapter in this, again, ongoing feud.
Yes, once again, that's the U.S. president versus the richest man on the planet, or at least one of them. Well, let's go to our final story. And let's take it back to our text topic. And this is all about the country's, meaning South Korea's, sodium intake.
Right, salt. How much salt are you eating? Too much, period. Yes.
Yes.
So this may surprise most people, but South Korea's average consumption for sodium, natrium, if you are in that generation, salty foods, that's over the World Health Organization recommendation.
Ooh.
I thought we were healthy. Guess not.
But think of all the Korean food like 간장, all the tangs and kimchis. Yeah.
So according to the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety, they analyze health data. An average South Korean person consumes 3,136 milligrams of sodium per day. That means nothing. Well, it's 60% higher than the WHO daily recommended salt intake. Yeah.
60%.
60%. So that stands at 2,000 milligrams. Although a bit of good news, we're eating less salty diet overall compared to, for example, in 2011. The figure from last year was actually down by almost 35%. Back then, the average salt intake was 4,789. That is more than double the daily recommended intake. By the way, that's also when the government started to launch this policy initiative to cut down sodium nationwide.
Indeed, and it's just really surprising. We generally think of Korean food as you said, being healthy. Where or how are we getting all the sodium, all the salt from?
All the good stuff.
Like?
Noodles, dumplings, mandu, kimchi, which go figure.
Yeah.
The soups. I know you're not supposed to drink the broth, but have you had the broth?
Yes.
Stir fries. I'm sorry. Stir fry and stew. So
찌개.
Everything.
다 맛있는 거잖아요,
All the good stuff. So generally, men ate more salt than women. And by age groups, people in their 30s and 40s, they had the saltiest diet.
Yes, yes. Let's go to the other end. We talked about salt. Now we got to talk about sugar.
Right, salty and sweet.
Yes.
We're actually okay there.
Oh.
As overall. So on average, South Koreans consume 35.5 grams of sugar. And that takes up about 7.7% of your total caloric intake for the day within WHO recommendations.
Okay.
We're okay. But when we're looking at girls, teenage and young adults, teenagers, their sugar intake was way up. We're looking at 40 to 46 grams per day. That exceeds 10% of your total calories for the day.
Yes.
No. This comes from liquids. So those empty calorie sweeter drinks, sodas, sugary drinks, ice cream, bread and pastries. So the Food and Drug Safety Ministry advised people to utilize cooking methods that would lower sodium, maybe salt things towards the end of your meal as opposed to, I know it makes it taste better, but every layer of the ingredients that I know that you put in. Also, when you're getting processed foods, look at the back, look at the nutrition labels and choose things that have lower sugar.
Yes, yes. And speaking of like, sodium, Tommy has a message for us. Jampong has the top sodium amount in Korean soul food.
Yeah, but
sometimes you just gotta have it.
That's just making me crave jampong.
Well, thank you for all the Woggly news. We'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Haley.
Have a great day.
All right, now let's get your updated traffic and weather out to you. It is now 8:16. Here's your traffic update. There is a multi-car accident on Byeongyang going out of the city past Orun Tunnel. It has been cleared up, but there is still backup because of this. There was a car that broke down inside Mandak Tunnel number 2 going toward Mandak, and there is residual backup because of this as well. There's another accident on Chunyeoldaero from Wondong Bridge to the Allak intersection in that direction. A car and a cargo truck got into an accident right past the Tirante three-way intersection. Please be aware of this area. And there is congestion on Yeonsuro between Mangmi and Suyeong intersection both directions. Currently, it's 28 degrees Celsius here in Busan with a heat wave special report. 폭염특보 and a heat wave impact report. We're talking about 폭염 영향 예보 over the city. The daytime high will go up to 33 degrees Celsius. In some inland areas, we're talking about 35 degrees under sunny skies. Across the nation, most of the country is under a heat wave special report with daytime highs expected to go up to 37 degrees in some areas. Thick fog in coastal areas and by bodies of water, so please drive carefully. This was your updated traffic and weather. All right, this is going to be Yorama 부탁해 by Indigo, and then I'll be back with Consul Nolan Barkhouse.
여름아 부탁해 나의 사랑을 이루게 해줘 힘겨웠던 나의 지난 추억 버리게 다시 찾아온 해변에서 비키니를 입은 그녀를 만난 후 나의 인생이 달라져서 한여름의 sunset 석양빛이 황홀한 도시의 거래 Kiss you one more time 뜨거운 태양의 검게 그린 그녀를 사귀고 싶어 긴 머리에 눈이 부신 그대가 좋아 나에 대해 정말 알고 싶지 않나요 그대를 가질 수 있다면 담배라도 끊겠어요 Wow baby 밤바다에 반짝이는 하늘의 별빛 흔들리는 파도의 노랫소리 그대를 느끼고 싶어 Oh beautiful lady 조금만 더 기다려 이대로 나를 떠나지 마요 아직 사랑하기 전엔 헤어지면 안 돼요 그대 사는 곳 어디인지 날 어떻게 생각하시는지 화장 안 한 그대 얼굴을 만져보고 싶어
This is your special interview on Thursday morning. Consul Nolan Barkhouse, and some of you recognize him, I'm sure, if you're joining us on YouTube, began his assignment at the U.S. Consulate in Busan. I can't believe this. In 2022, we were just talking off air. It seems like yesterday we, first met. But, with a wealth of diplomatic experience across multiple countries, he has built a strong and diverse career in the Foreign Service. And in recognition of his exemplary service, he has received several honors, including the State Department's Superior Honor Award. So, wow. But prior to his assignment in Busan, he also completed 2 years of Korean language study in Seoul and really underscoring his deep commitment to U.S.-Korea relations. So he is here in the flesh. We have Consul Nolan Barkhouse, who is the consul and principal officer of the U.S. Consulate here in Busan. So welcome back.
Thank you. It's great to be back.
Oh, absolutely. As soon as I heard that you were coming into the studio, I was really excited because I haven't seen you in several months, right?
Yeah, it's been a few months. Yeah.
Yes. Well, before we dive in, if you could say hello to our Morning Wave in Busan listeners, now viewers as well, as you can see.
Good morning, everybody.
Yes.
It's wonderful to be back. Unfortunately, I'm also saying goodbye to a lot of friends and partners. In the Foreign Service, we have a set term, and then we have to rotate to another place, as you talked about a moment ago. And so I've been here almost 3 years. It's been, 2 years and 51 weeks or something like that, 50 weeks.
Yes.
And it was a 3-year term. And so I'm finishing my assignment, and then I have to... I actually volunteered and applied to go to Washington, D.C. for my next tour because I've been overseas now for 8 years straight.
Yes.
And so it's time to go back to headquarters and do some work there. So.
I see. Well, it's like such bittersweet news. Like, great to see you, but then to hear that you're leaving once again. But let's look back at your service because you, I said in the intro, you began serving as consul at the U.S. Consulate in Busan in August of 2022 already, right? So I want to hear about your experiences and maybe some of the things that really stand out to you or stood out to you the most.
Yeah, it's been funny. I've been thinking about this more recently.
Yes.
Day to day, I think all of us, you're living for today, right? And maybe for tomorrow. But lately, I've been thinking a lot about, what was it like when I got here? We were wearing masks. The first time that you and I met in this studio, we were all in masks.
COVID.
And there was plexiglass between us.
Yes.
And it was crazy.
That's true.
And it wasn't the worst of it, but we were still coming out of COVID, right? And and now everything's back to normal and travel is all happening again. And Busan is attracting more and more tourists than it's ever attracted.
Yes.
It's really cool. It's a neat feeling that that I've been here for that whole recovery from COVID.
Indeed.
And I got to play a big part in that. A lot of what we used to do before COVID, it all kind of went dormant. It went to sleep, right? And so... I spent the first year or two really kind of trying to reinvigorate all of our partnerships and deepen them and expand them, and then also find some new partnerships. And on one side, it's easy, right? We're treaty allies. And, it was the 70th anniversary, and this year is the 72nd anniversary of our alliance. And so on one hand, it's really easy, but on the other hand, working together is always challenging, even if it's small stuff, well, we want to do it this way. Well, we want to do it that way, and so it's been a really exciting time.
Yes. And looking back, what would you consider? I mean, you already told us so much, but if you had to pinpoint one accomplishment that you're really kind of proud of, what would it be?
Yeah. So I think the one that I believe will probably yield the longest term impact is that we had an opportunity back at last September to open an American corner at Pugyong Daehakyo here in Busan.
Right.
And that is... everybody's well, what's an American corner? Well,
exactly.
It's an open space where people can come together, and they don't have to be Pugyong students, but they can be.
Sure.
And we've partnered with the university and with the U.S. Embassy in Seoul, and we have a lot of programs about America and American culture and English and lots of things that are related to the U.S. and Korea. And so those programs are continuing and will for many, many years. And I'm really excited about that.
Yes. And you said you've been away from the States for 8 years?
Yeah.
So obviously extensive work experience abroad in several parts of Asia, including China, if I remember, Laos as well, right? And now, of course, Korea. How has your experience in Busan been compared to your previous diplomatic posts? And this is not we're not asking you to say, Busan is best. Nothing like that.
Well, it is.
Busan is so good, right?
Yeah.
But if, since I have to ask you, if you had to do a bit of a comparison, or at least just talk about Busan, what would you say? In terms of your experience here, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's been really great. My family's here with me, my wife and my daughter.
Yes.
And everyone in Busan is just so welcoming and so friendly. And all over the Yeongnam area and in Jeju. These are the areas where I work.
Yes.
And this was my first time my diplomatic career has been 23 years in the State Department. And so far. And this was my first time to live and work in an allied country. And so I was used to kind of having more difficult conversations everywhere.
Tensions.
Yeah, and you still find ways to work together, but it's more challenging. And here, of course, like I said, we, all partners, even, me and my brother, we have disagreements about how to do things, but we're still brothers, right? And so that's how I feel about the U.S.-Korea relationship is that we're brothers and sisters and we disagree sometimes on some things,
right?
But the bond that we share is never ending, and we work hard at that.
Yes,
and that's been an exciting thing for me being here in Busan is that even when we occasionally disagree on something, even if it's a serious disagreement, occasionally. The bond is still there, and so we all kind of take a step back, and maybe even try a little somek, and just find a way to work together more, and and then double down.
Yes,
and I've been really proud of how that has gone.
Yes, of course, doing your part so well. Looking ahead, how do you see this relationship between the U.S. and Korea versus U.S. This relationship evolving even further in the future?
Well, what's been really neat is that, and I often talk about this when I kind of give public presentations, at the university or somewhere. If we were having this conversation right now, 30 years ago,
yes,
we would be talking almost entirely about security. The Army and the Army did this, and the Navy did that.
Yes.
These days, we talk about chips, and we talk about pharmaceuticals, and we talk about nuclear energy, and all kinds of neat stuff, smart cars, whatever it is, phones, and there's so many areas of cooperation in our comprehensive partnership.
Yes,
and it's all built on the security that we do together. But it's going on in just endless ways, and churches working together, and universities working together, and businesses, and just people from all walks of life. And there's record numbers of travelers going back and forth.
True.
So I think that's what's really cool about it. So I'm very optimistic, frankly, that will continue, even as some small challenges occasionally pop up.
But I like the fact that you are being real about it. That as any sibling relationship, there are little things that we may not agree on every single time, but that we work on that. It's an evolution of the relationship.
And it's a never-ending opportunity.
Yes,
that's really what it is, and that's what's so exciting for me. And when the new U.S. consul arrives, he'll be here in mid-August. When he gets here, I'm excited for him.
Oh, really?
Because he can then kind of grab the baton, almost like you're running a race, and grab the baton and take off running. And it's hard to kind of watch that in a sense, because it's like, well, I enjoyed that race. That was fun. But it's also exciting to see what he's going to be able to do, and hopefully you guys will meet. And,
yes.
And he'll get to meet so many people here in Busan and work together.
Well, I also want to talk about July 4th of July, Independence Day, very important.
Yes, tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. And, well, I know about a little event going on, but why don't you share with our listeners how the U.S. Consulate in Busan is commemorating this very important day, Independence Day?
Yeah, so we unfortunately were not able to have like a huge public event, but almost all diplomatic facilities around the world, U.S. facilities, and then of course other countries as well, they typically have some kind of a National Day event. And so our consulate will have something next week where we invite city government officials, you know, Mayor Park and others, and a lot of partners, and you know, university presidents and military leaders, business leaders, and everyone kind of comes together, and we celebrate and we talk a little bit about, you know, it's the 249th anniversary of the founding of the United States of America.
Yes.
And it's just, you know, it's hard to believe, like time flies, that the democratic system of government that we have, even as it evolves and changes, it has continued for that long of a time and continued to have success and to have treaty partners like Korea.
Yes.
And so that's kind of the official part. And then the fun part that I enjoy is eating cheeseburgers and, you know.
There's always great food, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And just, you know, talking with friends and reconnecting. And unfortunately, I have to say goodbye, but maybe it's more like see you later, you know?
Yes.
I'm hoping that I'll have other opportunities to visit Korea or work in Korea in the future. So.
Yeah, of course, we do as well. And so like I said from the get-go, you let us know that you are kind of, you know, on your kind of goodbye tour, saying goodbye to everybody. But if you could share a bit about your future plans, if whatever you can let us tell us about, what's next for you after Busan?
Yeah, so in a few weeks, when I depart, I'm going to go home to Dallas, Texas for a couple weeks and, you know, say hi to my mom and my brothers and friends. And then after that, our family will move to D.C., to Washington, D.C. And in mid-August, I'll start my job there. And the assignment there is 2 years, and I'll work at the State Department. I think I'm going to be serving as a press officer, and I'll be working on international organizations issues. And so that means like U.S. policy and cooperation with the United Nations and with other international organizations. And so I'll be working with the media. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it. And it'll be my first time to do that specific job in the U.S., like at the State Department. I've done some of that overseas, but it's exciting. And I'm looking forward.
Chapter, right?
And so like a year from now, like on July 3rd or 4th of next year, I'll be sitting in D.C. watching those beautiful fireworks and eating cheeseburgers there. So it's going to be good. You should come visit.
I would love to.
Everybody should. It's a great place to be.
Well, I want to thank you so much, not just for coming on air with us, but for your service on behalf of not just, you know, Americans, but for everybody here who has gotten to know you. And
I hope we all benefit. You know, that's. I think there's a lot that we can do together and we'll continue to do together. So it's exciting.
Well, thank you once again for your service, for coming on air with us, and of course, wishing you and your family the very best in the future. Once again, everybody, this was Consul Nolan Barkas. And by the way, the song we're going to play right now, he actually requested this song, right? So
I'm kind of an old soul.
Okay. So do you want to?
I think it's Wiz Khalifa, right?
Yeah,
so
and Charlie Puth, yes.
See you again. Yeah. So,
Aww, so bittersweet but fitting song.
앞으로도 뵙겠습니다, right?
Yes.
뵙겠습니다. There we go.
뵙겠습니다.
Yeah, so I hope we can meet again, and I look forward to it.
All right, on that note, we're going to say goodbye. Thank you for coming on once again, and we're going to play that song for you, See You Again by Wiz Khalifa and Charlie Puth.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Oh no, all the planes we flew, good things we've been be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way, from where we began.
We started.
Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Tell you.
When I see you again.
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling strong, and what's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be broken, the love will never get lost. And when brotherhood come first, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn, and that line is what we reach, so remember me when I'm gone. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
Let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every road you take will always lead you home. Oh, it's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
It is time for Buzz Breakdown. We have Vasana in the house. I'm in a good mood today. It feels like a Friday. And Umberto was wishing us a happy Friday.
Oh, well.
He's in the States. He got the dates wrong. It's a Thursday. So a little bit
Shouldn't
of
it be a Wednesday in the States?
No. Yeah, but he thought he was thinking a day ahead. Like 2 days ahead instead of a day.
Oh, wow.
So he was wishing us a happy Friday.
Ah, okay.
But it's Thursday.
알겠습니다. Thanks, Umberto.
Yeah, thanks for getting our hopes up for nothing.
Yes.
Ah,
a TGIT.
I know, TGITH. Text topic time.
Yes, what is it?
Of the four tastes, we're talking about sweet, savory / salty.
Oh.
What was the other one? Sour.
Yeah.
And spicy. Of those four. Savory, salty, we clumped it into one. So of those four,
yep.
If you had to choose just one taste, what would it be?
As in for the rest of my life?
No, just choose your top, what are your taste buds like?
I like salty.
Salty?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm, salty and sweet.
But you're such a salty person.
That indeed I am.
Yes,
salty and sweet. One of those two.
You can't do both, but anyways, I'll let it slide.
Salty's number one.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. What do you have for us for Buzz Breakdown?
Gadgets.
Gadgets.
Gadget. Sounds weird the more I say it.
Gadget.
Yes.
Gadget.
Gadgets, little devices.
Little devices that promise to change your life. So today I've got two parts for you. Firstly, some of the wildest new tech out this year.
Yes.
And then we'll take a trip to the gadget graveyard, which some of us older people may remember. And if our listeners think of something else, please chime in.
Yes.
So first up, at the tech display this year, one of the shows.
Are you talking about the E3?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
I know you were reaching for something, but yeah, the E3, yes.
Yeah. Imagine a guitar with no strings.
How are we going to... Air guitar with no strings?
It sounds like that's the first thing I said. Guitar with no strings.
Right,
that's an air guitar. I do that every day.
Yeah, like
in
the shower. Like every day.
Sorry. So it's a stringless guitar. It has buttons, lights, and sound effects.
Sure.
It's kind of like, what's that game? Guitar Hero.
Guitar Thing?
Hero or He Thing?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Foldable, portable, and lets you play chords with one hand.
Ooh, that is cool.
And it sounds cool.
Yeah.
It sounds awesome. So,
but I mean, okay, for the layperson, for somebody who, I know how to play a little bit, like the basics on the guitar, but for like real beginners, it sounds really good.
Yeah.
But for like real guitarists, real musicians, what do they think about this?
And that's the first word I want to introduce to you.
Okay.
A purist.
Oh, a purist.
A purist. Not a Puritan. Maybe a Puritan. A purist.
Kind of. It comes from the same root, pure.
Yes. So a purist is someone who doesn't like change, especially change from the original thing.
Yes.
So they like the old customs, and this is the big one, as I said before, resistance. Not just change, a resistance.
You're fighting change.
You're fighting change. So the word doesn't just apply to gadgets. It applies to everything in life, sports, religion, teaching, etc. So yes.
You're old school, basically.
Old school.
Yeah.
So the keyboard also had a revolution a couple of years ago with a keyboard that didn't have keys. It's just basically a rubber mat.
Okay.
And then you have to try and... It was kind of like, basically like this stringless guitar.
But how do you know what note you're hitting?
There are lines.
Okay.
But it is just...
I thought it was just like a blank mat.
I think the original one was like that. And there are keyboards out there like that. And it's
do you use one that?
I bought one.
You did?
Yep. And
do you use it?
I do use it, but I still haven't had time to fully learn how to play it.
Sure.
But I have seen people perform on it, and it just looks and sounds awesome. But all of my purist friends hate it. Like
friends.
one of the it can make every sound, this keyboard, and I'm guessing the guitar is the same thing. Because it's a cordless and fretless and stringless guitar. You can not cordless, but stringless and fretless guitar. You can play anything on it, any instrument. So it's basically like I said. Anyway, so yes.
So I can see why the purists would not like it.
I like it.
You like it?
I like it.
You like playing with your little toys, right?
Yeah, I like toys.
Okay.
I don't think it will take off.
It's not for the masses.
No, and definitely not the purist, and I don't think it'll make it to the stage. But it's something I would definitely have in my arsenal at home in my little music studio.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, the next one.
Yes.
A strange one. Mind-controlling or controlled earbuds.
What?
Yes.
Well, earbuds, we're familiar with that.
Yeah, you've got one now.
Yes.
Yeah, so can you imagine controlling the volume on your keyboard with your brain?
With my brain it's too loud.
Yeah, and
tone it down a little.
Just think about turning it down.
That's amazing and scary at the same time.
Yeah, so just look at something, look at the lights, turn it off, turn it up. So basically this is in regards to, this is how it works basically.
Yes.
So this brings me to our next two words, innovation and revolution or revolutionary.
Okay, so let's talk about the first one, innovation. Or innovator. What does this mean exactly?
This is someone who improves on things. So things that already exist.
Not an inventor.
No.
An inventor is someone who creates something from
something
scratch,
new,
right?
Yeah.
So an innovator is someone who makes something better.
Yeah, makes it better. So at the moment, technology already exists.
Yes.
That has that power, so to speak.
Yes.
Because
for all those people that have a disability.
Mm-hmm.
They're able to think of, I think it was the typing, they're able to think of a letter and it brings it out on the screen.
Right.
That was amazing. So
It
basically, the innovation is that it's expanding that thing there.
Okay.
But revolutionary is something that changes everybody's lives.
Ah.
Okay. So just like the stringless guitar I said before.
You know what was revolutionary?
Yes.
When you think about it,
Yep.
we use it every day. It's attached to our hands. The smartphone. To me, was revolutionary. It is. You know, everybody has their smartphone on them. It changed the way we live.
Yeah.
And how we do things. Every facet of our lives.
I have a joke of that, and I'll tell you off air.
Okay. Not appropriate for.
No,
Okay.
the first part is clean. Is basically having a phone attached to your hand, and you're taking the phone call, and then it goes onto a fax machine. You can guess what happens there.
Okay.
So on a side note, I was just thinking. You brought it up. Other things.
Yes.
What are other things that are revolutionary that have changed our lives? The first thing I thought of was the microwave.
Oh, the microwave, yeah.
So, just for our listeners, when do they think the microwave was invented?
I don't know.
Yeah, 1946.
1946?
1946
Is that old?
was
I
when
bet it was much bigger, though.
Yeah, this is when the patent was first filed. But the first microwave hit the shelves in 1967.
Yes.
Almost the basic shape it is as it is now. Not that much bigger. But now every house has one. It's unless you are a purist. And I have a couple of friends who are against microwaves.
No, I know some people who don't use microwaves.
Oh, yes.
I'm not one of them because time is of the essence for me. I like to, heat things up or
beep.
Yeah, defrosting.
So can you imagine using your earbuds to control the microwave?
Oh, that would be great.
You're sitting at the TV. And
I'm
you
like,
think,
okay.
I want something. Okay. Microwave on.
But you would have to move and put something in the microwave.
But imagine if you had a conveyor belt on the way there. Anyway.
Okay. What else?
So now the things that made sense at the time and we thought would become part of our lives.
Yes.
But didn't. And so this brings me to the next three words.
Which are?
Overhyped.
Oh.
Flash in the pan. And a bust.
But I love all three phrases or words because overhyped meaning there's so much waggling and hyping up a product.
Everybody's expecting a lot.
They're like, oh, it's going to be the best thing. It's going to change your life, but it doesn't.
No. Yes.
And a flash in the pan meaning literally it comes and it goes.
Yes. Very quick.
One and done. Yes.
Very popular, but then gone. Okay, so I'll start with something which I thought was a good idea when it came out.
And this is our last example because we got to wrap
last
up
example?
soon. Yeah. What is it? So pick one. Pick wisely.
Pick one?
Yes.
Okay, let's pick an old one.
Okay.
Betamax.
Oh, Betamax,
Betamax.
VHS Betamax?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So that is definitely something that did not last.
It didn't even take off.
Yes.
But VHS did, but not Betamax.
So let's go over the words real quickly, and we do have to wrap up. So we have purist.
Purist. Innovation.
Yes.
Revolutionary. Overhyped. Flash in the pan. And bust.
That's right.
Yes.
So our buzz breakdown for today. But thank you so much for today. And of course, we look forward to next week as well. Thank you, Vasana.
감사합니다.
We're going to call it a wrap for this Thursday morning. And we're going to end it with this song. This is Pado by UN. Have a good one, everybody.
너와 내가 남긴 추억들 하루가 떠나도 내겐 지워지지 않는 걸 너를
하지만 너의 곁에도 다른